Hey you guys, and welcome back to yet another video. In today's video, we're focusing on Module 1, Lesson 9, where we're going to round one number to multiple place values. Let's go ahead and get started. So, as of now, we've all seen our rounding steps. We've memorized the steps, we've worked through the steps, and a lot of us have achieved mastery. As a reminder, those steps are: underline your place value, circle the number to the right, 4 or less, let it rest, 5 or more, raise the score. The digits in the front stay the same. The digits behind zeros their name. We're going to continue to use these steps to ensure that all friends reach mastery. Also, in order to make sure that all friends reach mastery, I've also included a place value chart and a number line. So the place value chart that you're going to see in your classwork and in the video is something that we're going to use as a resource that we're going to use if you get stuck when you're underlining those numbers. You forget what place value you're underlining. You forget what number is in that place value. And our number line is just in case you forget if your circled number is 4 or less or if it's 5 or more. So let's go ahead and get started with these new resources. In our first problem, we're rounding 833,220 to the nearest 1,000 and the nearest 10,000. Let's go ahead and round to the nearest 1,000 first, you guys. So, as always, we're going to read our steps, and we're going to follow our first step. Step 1, underline your place value. I'm rounding to the nearest 1,000. What number is in the thousands place? If you're getting stuck, let's go ahead and use our first resource, which is our place value chart, and place this number on our place value chart, 833,220. And as always, I'm starting in the ones place, 220. There we go. What number is in the thousands place? Absolutely. My 3 is in the thousands place. My second 3 is in the thousands place. So now we are going to underline my second 3. And now we're able to cross off that step or check off that step. Step 2, circle the number to the right. What number is to the right of my 3? Absolutely. My 2. Go ahead and circle that and then check off that step. Next step, 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, raise the score of your underlined number. So let's look at our circled number. Is the number 2 4 or less, or is it 5 or more? If you're getting stuck, let's go ahead and look at our number line. I want to know if the number 2 is 4 or less, or if it's 5 or more. Absolutely, the number 2 is 4 or less. So if the number 2 is 4 or less, then my underlined number, does it rest, or do we raise the score? Yes, we're going to let that underlying number rest, you guys. That underlying number is tired, you guys. It was out late. It went to Chick-fil-A. It had a little party. It went bowling. It did a lot, you guys. So that 3 is tired. We're going to let it rest, which simply means the 3 is going to stay the same. So on top of my 3, I'm going to write another 3 and then check off the step. Next step, the digits in the front stay the same. What digits are in front of my underlying number? Absolutely, my 8 and my 3. So because they're staying the same, I'm simply just going to bring up my 8 and then bring up my 3. And then lastly, check off that step. Last step, you guys, we're almost there. The digits behind zeros their name. So what do all my digits behind my underlying number turn into? Good thinking. Yeah, they're all turning into zeros, even my circled number. So my 2 is turning into a 0, my other 2 is turning into a 0, and my 0, we're going to go ahead and put a 0 on top of that as well. even though it's already a 0. How do we say this number? Awesome reading. Yeah, 833,000. So 833,220 rounded to the nearest thousand is 833,000. You guys, let's go ahead and do the same thing rounding to the 10,000s. So we're going to round the same number to the 10,000s. First step, underline your place value. What number is in the 10,000s place? Yeah, I'm kind of stuck too. Let's go back to our place value chart. And let's look and see what number is in the 10,000s place. What number is it? Yeah, my first 3 is in the 10,000s place. So now we're going to go back to our number and we're going to underline our first 3. Go ahead and check off that step when you're done. The next step says to circle the number to the right. What number is to the right of my 3? Absolutely. My second 3 is to the right of my first 3. Next step, 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, raise the score. So I'm looking at my number 3, my circled 3. Is that number 3 4 or less? Or is it 5 or more? Let's look at our number line to see. My number 3 is right here. Is that 3 4 or less? Or is it 5 or more? Yeah, it's 4 or less. So when my number is 4 or less, if my circled number is 4 or less, what do I do to my underlined number? Absolutely. We let it rest, which simply means it stays the... Oh, I know you can say it louder than that. If I let my number rest, that means it stays the... Yeah, it stays the same. So I'm simply just going to bring up my 3 and check off that step. The next step says the digits in the front stay the same. What digit is in front of my underlined number? Absolutely, my 8. It's staying the same. Simply just bringing up my 8. Last step, the digits behind zeros their name. So what do all those digits behind my underlined number turn into? Good thinking, you guys. Yeah, they're all turning into zeros, including my circled number, including my... Fantastic, including my circled number. So my 3's turning into a 0, my 2's turning into a 0, my 2's turning into a 0, and then that 0 is going to stay a 0, but we're going to bring it up. Check off that step. We've now officially rounded 833,220 to the nearest 10,000. How do we say that number? Good job. That number is 830,000. Awesome job, you guys. Let's try the next one. 406,823, rounded to the nearest 10,000 and the nearest 100,000. What does step 1 tell me to do? Yeah, I need to underline my place value. I'm rounding to the nearest 10,000. What number is in the 10,000s place? If you need to, make sure you are using your place value chart in order to determine the number in the 10,000s place. That's right, my 0 is in the 10,000s place. Don't forget to check off that step. Next step, circle the number to the right. What number is to the right of my 0? Fantastic. 6. Check it off. 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, raise the score. The number 6, is it 4 or less? Or is it 5 or more? That's right. It's 5 or more because it's after 5. So I know that because my circled number is 5 or more, my underlying number is what? Is it resting or is it going to raise? Yeah, it's going to raise because I know that I have to raise the score. So what is my underlying number turning into if I'm raising the score? Absolutely. It's turning into a 1. Check off that step. Next step. The digits in the front stay the same. What digit is in front of my underlying number? Yeah, my 4. And when it's staying the same, all we're doing is simply just bringing up that number. Check off that step. The digits behind zeros their name. So what are all my digits behind my underlying number turning into? Fantastic job. Even my circled number turns into a 0. My 6 turns into a 0, my 8 turns into a 0, my 2 turns into a 0, and my 3 turns into a 0. Don't forget your comma. How do you say that number? Absolutely. 410,000. So 406,823 rounded to the nearest 10,000 is 410,000. Let's do the same thing, but this time rounding to the nearest 100,000. Here we go. Step 1. Underline your place value. What number's in the 100,000s place? Absolutely. Good job. My 4. Check it off. Step 2. Circle the number to the right. What number is to the right of my 4? Awesome thinking. My 0. Check it off. Step 3. 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, raise the score. Let's look at that number 0. Is the number 0 4 or less? Or is it 5 or more? So 0 would be right here. Absolutely. It's 4 or less. So when it's 4 or less, that means I'm doing what to my underlying number? Am I letting it rest? Or am I raising the score? Good job. That's right. I'm letting it rest because it's tired. When I let it rest, I keep the number the same. My number stays the same. So I'm simply just bringing up my 4. What in the world did you just write, Miss Turner? Checking off the step and then moving on. The digits in the front stay the same. What digits are in front of my underlying number? There aren't any? Oh, okay, so we can check off that step then. And then we're moving on to our final step. The digits behind zeros their name. So what do all my digits behind my underlying number turn into? Awesome thinking. Yeah, they all turn into zeros, including my... Who remembers? Yeah, including my circled number. So my 0 is a 0, my 6 is a 0, my 8, my 2, and my 3. And then don't forget those commas. How do we say this number? Good job. This number is 400,000. This number is? Good job, you guys. Let's try one more. But this time, I want you guys to tell me what to do. What do I do first? Underline my place value? Okay. What number am I underlining? My 6? How do I know that? What do I know about the number 6 in this number? What place value is it in? Good job. It's in the 10,000s place. I can check it off. What do I do next? Circle the number to the right? So what number am I circling? Okay. Awesome thinking and awesome participation. I checked it off. Now what do I do? Four or less, let it rest. 5 or more, raise the score. Okay. How do I do that? What number should I look at right now? My circled number. Okay. And is that circled number 4 or less, or is it 5 or more? It's 4 or less? Okay. So what do I do to my underlying number? I let it rest? Okay. Which means that number stays the what? Awesome thinking. It stays the same. Let me go ahead and put a 6 on top and I can check it off. What does the next step tell me to do? Awesome. The digits in the front stay the same. So what digit do I need to write on top? Absolutely. Good job. An 8. I checked it off. Now what do I need to do? The digits behind 0's their name. So what are those digits that are behind my underlying number? Two, 0, 9, 2. And what do they all turn into? Awesome job. That's right. They all turn into 0's. How do you say that number? How do you say it? Oh, 860,000. Awesome job. What about the 100,000? Do you think you can solve this without Ms. Turner's help? Pause the video. I want you to solve this problem on your own. Then I want you to unpause to see if you got the same answer as Ms. Turner. Pause now. All right, friends. So we're back. I want to see if you guys got the same answer as Ms. Turner. Ms. Turner underlined her place value, and she underlined the 8 because it was in the 100,000s place. She then checked off her step. She circled the number to the right, which is a 6. And then she checked off that step. She asked herself, is the number 6 4 or less, or is it 5 or more? And she knew that the number 6 was 5 or more, so she raised the score of her underlying number. So she turned her 8 into a 9, and then she checked off that step. She skipped the next step because there's no digits in the front. But she did do that last step because the digits behind, they all turned into zeros. So she crossed off her 6, her 2, her 0, her 9, and her 2, and she turned them all into zeros. And she did not forget that comma. Did you get 900,000? If you did, awesome job. If you didn't, that's okay. Just keep practicing in this video. Until next time.